What's up, everyone? I'm Morsheda with NBC New York, and we're here at the iconic Peter Luger's restaurant in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where I had a chance to sit down with one of the owners of the restaurant. Right now, I'm sitting down with David Burson, one of the owners of Peter Luger's restaurant here in Brooklyn. How are you, David?
Doing well. Thanks for coming by today.
Your restaurant went viral recently because of the New York Times article that just came out. How are you feeling, and how has it been since that article's been released?
It's been interesting. I think it's been about 10 days since the Pete Wells review went live. We've been reviewed by the New York Times over the years. Sometimes we've gotten 4 stars, sometimes we've gotten less. And unfortunately, Mr. Wells really did not have a good experience here, and it really was upsetting to hear.
What's been the vibe of what's been happening so far?
I think the best part, honestly, has been the support both from the locals, our regulars, but also the restaurant and chef community at large, and the outpouring of support has truly been special from all across the country and even internationally.
Have you seen an increase of customers, or has it basically been the same?
So since the Wells review, I think we've had an influx of people who want to come here and try out the experience for themselves and make their own decisions, which makes me really happy. I don't think people should base whether they want to come to a restaurant or not simply on the words of one critic. And so we have people who are coming in for the first time, for the 5th time, for the 50th time. It definitely has not slowed down our clientele who want to kind of come in and hopefully have that steak that they've long thought that they would have here, and the experience that we've become known for.
What are your feelings about the service that you guys provide? Are there any improvements that you would want to make?
First and foremost, we're in the hospitality industry, so we really need to go above and beyond, not just from a waiter and service level, but from a managerial level, from anyone who's interacting with our guests really has to bring their A game. And I think as far as making improvements to our service, I think we really have to look across the restaurant as a whole to what we can do to make the guest experience better, and not just look at, say, Pete Wells had an issue with our wait staff, so how do we improve that? I think it's more of a macro view on how can we improve the guest experience as a whole, and service is certainly an area that should be looked at.
So kind of leading with that, do you think because of the article being released kind of helped you pinpoint certain areas that you need improvement on, or not?
You kind of get thrust into the limelight, and I think using that as I was saying, a starting point to look at specific areas to improve is obviously something that makes sense for us. That being said, we really don't want to change who we are and what we do, so it's about looking at little things that will hopefully improve the overall experience. We're not going to have the latest kale salad. We're going to stay true to who we are and hopefully deliver the best steak that somebody can buy.
How do you describe Peter Luger's in your own words?
So Peter Luger is a German beer hall styled steakhouse that has been open since 1887, just underneath the Williamsburg Bridge on the Brooklyn side. What once started as a very small neighborhood restaurant has certainly taken on a life of its own over the past several decades, and I would think we've only grown in popularity ever since. We've been fortunate enough to receive great ratings in the Zagat survey. We get a Michelin star annually. Great accolades that have really made us, I think, internationally known for having one of the best steaks money can buy. And I think our loyal clientele is definitely indicative of that.
So if someone has never been here before, this is their first time coming to Peter Luger's, what should they get from the menu?
So if someone has never been to Peter Luger, the thing I would tell them to get would be our porterhouse steak for 2. It's, I think, our quintessential item on our menu. It's what we've been known for the past however many years. It's a T-bone steak in large On one side you have the filet mignon, and on one side you have the sirloin. It's only USDA prime meat, which has been dry aged in our dry age box downstairs. Cooked to order to your preference of how you like your meat cooked. Brought out on a sizzling hot platter with a little clarified butter. And I think it is the definition of a Peter Luger menu item.
So David, I've been getting this question all over, all the time. Why are your steaks so expensive?
So the simplest answer for why our steaks are so expensive is because it costs us a lot of money to buy. USDA prime meat is incredibly expensive at this time. And once we've bought the meat, we then dry age the meat. And in doing so, you lose about 15 to 20% of your product. And so our food cost actually on our steaks is incredibly high. Unfortunately, USDA prime meat is obviously a high-end item, so the price tag can reflect that.
Well, there you go. That's your answer, everyone. Thank you, David, so much for having us today. And hopefully people can come in to Peter Luger's and try a steak for themselves and make their own decisions. Thanks so much for having us.
No problem. Thanks for coming by.
And thanks for watching.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching this video from NBC4 New York. You can stay up to date by hitting the subscribe button below me. Also on the left, you can see some of our latest updates, investigations, and features. We'll see you next time.